I gotta figure out there's a nice way to make a nice little transition between that. And somewhere there's in here there's a fade or dissolve. Hello, it's me. I'm doing a live again tonight because I was supposed to do one Tuesday and I didn't, and then I was supposed to do one last night and I didn't, and so I'm doing one now just because I need to get off my ass and do this, even though I don't really have anything formally planned, but that's kind of the way it goes, right? Um, I'm got to work on my setup a little bit more. I have sort of a basic background. I think I'm overly lit with all this. I'd like to find a way of bringing down the lighting and I don't know, use something a little less harsh that's on my face that makes me look so old. As I'm starting this stream, there is no viewers at the moment. So what usually happens is I get into a stream and I start doing things, and then just as I start reaching the last half hour, people start showing up, and that kind of throws me off a little bit because then I start winding down, ready to finish, and I've said everything I needed to say, done everything I needed to do, and you can't really redo it all again, right? So, and I don't even have anyone to test the audio. I have my phone set up so I can keep an eye on this and keep an eye on the chat because there is a delay between when you type something and enter it and it going through YouTube and then coming up through Streamlabs and me getting it here. So it could be as much as 30 seconds. And good, there is audio. Okay. I like to just check that and make sure because there's no other way of me checking. So generally I'm hoping that people will catch this in the restream. And if you are, you're probably hearing me yak for a little bit, and maybe I'll put in a time code to know where to jump ahead so you can bypass all of this, right? I'll see if I can set all that up. But generally, yes, I don't get a lot of response on this. Thursdays are supposed to be a good night to stream, Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I would like to make Tuesdays and Thursdays a stream night, and then maybe upload a video on Wednesday if I can get one made. But anyway, so here I am actually, and I have I was going to open up Clip Studio Paint. If you are, if anyone comes in and watches, please pop in and say hello. Say hello in the chat, something, so I know you're here. I like to know if somebody's around, and you know, it says here that I've now got a viewer, but I don't know. Sometimes this thing is a little bit messed up. I'm going to see if I can open up Clip Studio, and while we get this ready, because I can do a little bit of drawing. I need to work on my 2-camera setup. I can set up Clip Studio Paint because it's a digital input. That's always set up because that's how I do my work. But in order to get a 2-camera setup so that I can see, rather so that you, the audience, can see what is being shot on the camera right over here downward. So if I want to do some physical work, you know, whether I'm doing a bit of painting or drawing, and I have a camera over top set up, that means I have 2 inputs because you've got this, which is usually in the corner. It doesn't need to have this. It's just, it's helpful. Sometimes I think people like to make that connection. They like to see you, and if I need to hold something up or to show something, I can switch back to this full screen view because I have this mixed view, which is down here like this, and if I need to, I can increase that and decrease it as necessary. There we go. And that can go over on this side actually because there's nothing there, right? Zoom this out on the screen. Okay. My apologies. I shouldn't have this dead air like this, but I am checking things on my phone at the side to make sure everything's all right. I know I do tend to look away from the camera, and I don't mean to, but I have my setup over here, and I have my drawing tablet right down below. So I'll be looking at what I'm drawing and then checking it on the monitor, and I keep forgetting to try and focus on the camera, make an eye contact with you. But I'll go back to this view for just a moment. I love these little things. If there's ways I can make these little guys animate their eyes blink, look around, or something, like I'd love to do that. If there's a way I can use this as a GIF, maybe that just every once in a while rotates, that'd be kind of cool. All right, I'm going to see if I can open something up when we get going. Oh, Terry's here. Hi, Terry. How are you? Nice to see you. Gosh, it's been a while. How have you been keeping? I'm kind of doing this out of the blue and without any real planning here, so I'm just going to be winging this. I had talked to Enrique. I was hoping he could join me and maybe we could make an art block episode out of this, because I do need to bring back art block, but I prefer to do it on Tuesdays if possible. I need to talk to him and ask him about that. But I would like to. I know I would like to bring art block back in. I have some ideas for it. I've always had ideas for years about that. But we'll see if we can if I can get that going next week. So that's good to hear. I'm not using Talk Studio anymore because my time was up on that. It came up to renewal, and it was just too expensive. So unless they come back with a deal and say, we'll give you 30% off or something like that if you renew now, maybe I'll consider it. But right now, as it is, it's just way too expensive. So chats, you have when you're using that, you can bring what people say up on the bottom of the screen, and I can't do that, unfortunately. I wish I could, but I don't see. There's no way I think of doing that. If there is, I don't know how to do it. Be nice if there was. Anyways, so as it stands right now, I'm just using standard Streamlabs, which is kind of identical to OBS if you're familiar with OBS. Streamlabs, they ran into a bit of trouble a few years ago because they used to call it Streamlabs OBS, and then OBS themselves got mad at them and says you can't call it that. So, but they're basically almost exactly the same thing. I have issues with OBS. It doesn't seem to like me for whatever reason. Doesn't like my Mac. It doesn't like, I don't know. I completely deleted the entire program, re-uploaded again, tried it, wouldn't connect with YouTube, wasn't getting audio coming back through it properly. It was a nightmare, and I went, you know what, forget it. I'll use Streamlabs because Streamlabs just works easier. So that was, yeah. I was on TikTok this afternoon with Enrique. I was mentioning him a minute ago. I'll see if I can maybe try and get him on next week if he's available. We might every once in a while be doing. Well, he's on just about every day. He's on TikTok in the afternoon for an hour or so just to do some drawing, and I'm going to see if I can try and hop in there with him once in a blue moon in the afternoon. So, anyways, but that's glad you're doing well. It was all good. Okay. Yeah, let's see if I can get this kind of rolling up here. You can see I don't Terry's my only viewer right now. I'm hoping this gets more in the following, like after the stream's over, we get it up in the replay. But it's coming up the last 3 days of Sora 2. Yes, that AI program that was so problematic that even they pulled out. So what am I going to draw? I actually have no idea yet. This was a bit of a on the fly. I was supposed to come on Tuesday, and oh, thank you. Why is there a message held for review? Oh, I don't know what to do with it. If you sent something, I apologize. There might have been something in there that got misunderstood, but I appreciate you smashing the like button. Is that the one that's here? Show? Maybe that's the one that says that. Oh, okay. I see why. Because it said smashed. Fussy things. All right, let me see if I can get something up and going here. I was going to do something on Tuesday and it didn't happen. I was going to try on Wednesday. Part of it is because I haven't had enough sleep. As you know, I moved last year into a basement apartment, but the woman that owns it is doing work on this place, and which is first thing in the morning. They're here making a lot of noise. So It's just going to take a couple of days to apparently do she's redoing the floors, so that's, hey, Paul, how are you, sir? Gosh, it's been a while. Okay, well, I have a couple of people in here. That's good then. I'm not too bad. A little tired, but I'm not bad. Let me see if I can switch to this view. I'm just going to do a bit of doodling. I don't know. I have, I do these demos, but, I don't know. I'm talking to artists already that know what I'm talking about. So unless somebody watches it on the repeat broadcast, I feel like I'm just kind of I'm preaching to the choir. I can go with this for a little bit. One thing I'm going to be doing is I want to experiment with Procreate Dreams, which is the animation program by Procreate out of Australia, and they updated it last year, I think, or late last year. They updated, so now it's Procreate Dreams 2, and I was just starting to get the hang of it, and then they updated it, and now it's all completely changed. So I have to go back into it and kind of go through it and start from scratch again and figure out how to actually lay out doing some animation in that, because I do intend on hooking this up, and I have a little plan for something I want to animate here, just to something to get used to the program, and it involves using like Flintstones characters. I just briefly, and let me tell you what the idea that I've got here. If you're familiar with the Flintstones, I think most people are. If you, specifically the ones in the 60s, the voice of Fred Flintstone was you thank you thang. All right. The voice of Fred Flintstone was a man named Alan Reed, and he never changed his voice. Like when you hear Fred Flintstone talk in those original cartoons, that was him. That was how he talked. If you ever find any interviews with Alan Reed, that's exactly what he sounded like. And he was a character actor and used to appear in the Odd TV show back in the 60s once in a while. And he popped up in a bit part on Beverly Hillbillies once, as just a character for an episode. I think he was like a manager for like a women's wrestling team or something. He was kind of this corrupt manager. But somebody had uploaded the scene from it where a secretary comes in and hands him a sheet of paper saying that he's got a gig to have this big show for at a stadium and to be on Ed Sullivan, and he's all excited about this. And Dreams 2 has a lot of changes. I know, it really does. It has, yeah, that's, I gotta relearn it from scratch, that thing, practically. But that clip, when you listen to it, like if you close your eyes, it's bizarre because it's like, that's Fred Flintstone. So I've already actually saved that clip. I've extracted the dialogue from it. I'm going to see if I can turn that into like, to make it look like a scene from the Flintstones. And which should be pretty easy because there's only 1 or 2 backgrounds for the whole thing. It's mostly just animating the mouth, maybe some hand movement, that kind of thing. Very little kind of movement. So I'm trying to learn how to draw the characters, kind of thing, right? I learned kind of that style that they did for because if you look at the Flintstones, they have all the characters have a really specific style for them, and I'm going to try and figure that out. Carol Spector, how are you, sir? Good to see you. I mentioned earlier, I think just before people came in, I'll mention it again, I'm no longer using Talk Studio, so that nice little feature where when people talk and like when people enter in their messages and then it comes up across the bottom of the screen, unless there's a feature for that in standard Streamlabs, I don't know, but so I'm just going to kind of look at them and read them from here. So yeah, unfortunately, I kind of wish that there was a way. If there's a way to do that, I'd like to figure that out, but I don't know how to incorporate that in. But it'd be nice to like click on it and then just like add that in the bottom of somewhere down in the bottom of the chat over here. Paul, I see you've posted some stuff from your some of the stuff you've been working on. It's really nice, by the way. You've got some really good drawings that came up that I was kind of like, wow, that's really good. There was a particular one of somebody sitting at a desk, and the lighting in it was really cool. I thought it was so well done. So yeah, is that book out yet? By the way, I don't even know if I know Josh was on a couple of nights ago, and I wasn't able to watch his stream, unfortunately. I sort of came in and watched for a few minutes, but it was really tired. I think somebody phoned too. Somebody called me, and then after that, I was just way too tired. So, are we doing some hand? I will be eventually. I'm starting the early planning stages of it. So, Karios, yeah. But eventually, yeah, I would love to try and do a little bit of that simple TV animation. I'm going to try and do a little test with that. But I need to establish a couple of the characters in it. So, and I want to take the characters from that clip and see if I can make them look like Flintstones. And I had some reference for... This is where I wish I had a third monitor now. Maybe I should grab my iPad. That's what I should do. I had some references saved for like to draw a secretary. And I had a drawing. It's in my iPad, which is like way over there, and I put it in Procreate. I'm just gonna maybe run and grab it. I'm gonna be right back. So don't go nowheres. It's actually just out of reach a little bit. You can probably still hear me. All right, there it is. Ooh. Been out of commission for a while because my back's been out. And hello, Gas Monkey, how are you? Welcome to the stream. I'm going to move things over. And I did it in Procreate, but maybe I can kind of just sort of redraw it a little bit, because I got to get used to drawing a couple of these characters. I have to go to work tomorrow. Ugh, I'm not looking forward to that. Here we go, Flintstones test. This looks a little Wilma-like, but let me see what I can do with that. Yeah, I got people coming in. That's good to see now. I got about 3 or 4 people in here. That's great, actually. It'll probably say 5 years, but I actually have 4, because one of them is just my phone, because I can see messages coming through. Maybe I don't need it on now. They've been actually coming through pretty good. Normally, using Streamlabs, when somebody enters in a message, because it's got to go through Streamlabs to YouTube, I usually don't see it for like 20 seconds after it's been entered. So let me turn this off for a little bit. I don't need that. If there is any issues with dial or with audio, anything like that, please let me know ASAP. Move this out of the way. I don't know. I gotta figure out also how to add guests on Streamlabs. There's apparently a way to do it, but last I tried it, it wasn't working, and I was a bit frustrated with it. There's got to be a way I know to do it. If you have their paid version, there's definitely a really easy way to add guests into it, and then you also have access to Talk Studio as well. But for just standard Streamlabs, there's kind of a long way around doing it, and I haven't been able to figure that out yet, and I'd like to be able to. Now this person, 2, 3, 4, she's tall. Actually, the head's a bit bigger. Flintstone characters, I have like a normal human being is at least 6 heads in height. If you're doing the standard drawing measurement of measuring by heads, and you measure, you hold your thumb out and you measure approximately the height of the head, and then you count down. people usually start at about 6.5, and they go up from there depending on the height of the person. So it's the number of heads down, right? You start to get into cartoon characters. Um, it's a little bit different. Actually, I'm going to try and find something here. One moment. See if I know somewhere I had saved a few images of secretary characters from the Flintstones, and I want to see if I can find those. No, it's probably on my desktop somewhere. I've saved them. Okay. But what else has everyone else been up to since while I'm checking this? I've been saying, hey, how you doing? But everybody like doing well? Like haven't heard anything much lately. Um, I wish I kind of caught part of Josh's stream. I wanted to kind of check in and see what he's been up to, because he kind of goes quiet for a little while, and then he sort of pops back in, starts doing streams again for a while, and this is, oh, I bet you it's on my backup drive. Oh, that's where it is. Yeah, it's on my backup drive. Damn it. Okay. I can't really plug it in while I'm doing this, so. See, small show here. Oh, oh, you sent me something on that, Karos. You have to refresh my memory. I think it was a while ago, but I believe I did. I'll check it again. You showed me something on that. Yeah, I apologize. I haven't been able to stay on top of anything properly lately. As most people know, I've heard me go on and on about here. I have a lot of back issues. I've got problems with my knees and my back, and it's been flaring up quite a lot lately. Actually, I had another throwout again, and it laid me up for a good 2 weeks. I was in a lot of pain. I couldn't walk, and I'm still having spasms in the morning when I try and get it. When I wake up in the morning, it's like everything stiffens. I get like my knees kick out straight, my back seizes up, and I can't move. This morning I actually sort of slowly got up, and as soon as I stood up, it did that. Everything kind of seized up. My back tries to like bend backwards almost, and my knees lock out, and I just about fell over. So I don't know why it does that when I first wake up in the morning, but oh, I drew that picture you mentioned. Oh, mentioned. And through your back too, eh? Oh, yeah. I know. That one's no longer the viral video. It did really, strangely, really well for a short on my channel. It got like 500 views or something. That's where I'm just lying on my back going, I can't move. And for some reason, of all the videos I had up, that one was. No, the new one now that's doing well is where my 22-inch tablet blew, and it wouldn't come on. I went to click it, and it went out, didn't come on, and I uh, was like, look at this, and I tried turning it on and off, and I was pissed off. I got so many responses to that. Um, I don't like the way that's looking. Oh, all right. You know what? I tend to keep Keros. I tend to keep all my emails. It's very rare that when to actually go through and purge them. I have like 100 and some odd emails, and I'm always kind of trying to save everything, just because unless it's like complete junk mail, otherwise I'll save everything. Just because I always feel like I need to go back and find something. Um, then it should come out a bit more. So let me go back in and I'll look. I'll try and remember to look for your email. It seems to me I think you did email it to me, but I will go back and look for that. You know, there's something wrong with the size on this. Hold on. I'm actually gonna go back up and start this one again. There's something definitely wrong, and she's twisted a little bit. Let me go back up. Oops, that head is too big because I figured I'm working like the 16 by 9 area, and I'm used to like working lengthwise when I do characters. So let me move you up. Saturday, I have some friends of mine coming to visit, and I'm going to be. We're going to take a little trip downtown Toronto, and I want to do some photography. So I'm gonna probably be. I don't know if I'll be able to live stream from down there. I'd like to be able to in Toronto. Maybe I'll try to. I'm taking my gimbal with me, and maybe I'll try. I'll see if I can try and if I can live stream. Well, we should finish up there. If I can. The problem is I have to be careful I'm not in an area that there's any music playing. Otherwise, they jump on that right away. While you're in midstream, they will shut you down if they hear any copywritten music. They do not like that. And they will shut you off like right away. But I'll definitely be posting some pictures once I get them up. By the way, I started a um, separate Instagram for doing photography. I think it's called Phil of Photos. Um, Phil underscore of underscore photos. If you want to go check that out, I only have a few followers on there. I don't have many, but it was more just a place to post, do photography separately from my artwork, and yeah, because I like to kind of post things that I do with whenever I shoot anything with the Nikon, do any photographs, etc. I like to kind of, for some reason, I'm on this thing. I'm wanting to keep them separate. It's cool. You're going to send something to a festival. Funny how most of the Flintstones characters have these little. I'm here to drop the like. Thanks so much, Buckeye. Nice to see you, Buckeye Zach 89. Cheers, man. Fun in Flintstones, they have these little black eyes. Some of them do, and yet others, like Wilma, has eyes like that. But some others have like the big full eyes where you can see the irises. Barney has little eyes like this, right? But Fred has the big full eyes, and it's funny how they jump back and forth between those two. Um, There's supposed to be a Flintstones revival coming up at some point. I don't know if that ever happened or not. I know a long time ago, Seth MacFarlane was picking that up, but I don't think that ever happened. There's a guy. There's two different people now who do the voice, and the guy who does it now um, bases it off of Alan Reed, who did it in the '60s, and really amazing job. Like just like eerily nails it because, like I said, that was his natural voice. He didn't alter his voice in any way, and so to actually get that close to his voice. I'll put that foot in front. So that's kind of it. She's a little bit short, but that's kind of the idea a little bit here. I am such this weird thing about me is I'm boy, when I work in rough, I really work in rough a lot. Like I kind of look at it, and sometimes I'm not even sure what the solid lines are, the ones that are the important ones, the ones that aren't. Um, I'm kind of doing this just basically because I need to get a habit of getting on here. I would like to. It's way too thick. Get in the habit of getting on here again more often. I haven't. I have posted a video back in October. It's doing really well, but I need to get something else up, and not just a live. I need to actually make like recorded videos and get them up more often. I think I lost everybody. I'm back down to just me. But thank you everybody for being here who came in. Clip Studio has this new feature in here now. Like they've got these new wire bending features. I hope they keep this up. Although they need more nodes in here, and you lose your this trail off. You lose that unfortunately when you do this. So if I, because you have to, whoops, no. You have to hold it and you'll get this little edit thing here. Oh, is that right? Oh God, if I knew somebody like that, okay, thanks. Cheers, Paul. Appreciate it. If I somebody that did that, I give them a hard time all the time. That's funny though. That was Mel Blanc or Mel Blanc, however you pronounce his name. He did the voice. Anyways, new feature for those that use Clip Studio. I don't know if you know they've added this recently. Here, eh? Like if you they're sort of copying what Procreate does. So if you draw a line and don't lift your pen off the page, you hold it, it will snap it straight. When you lift it, it will say edit. If I click on edit, it will give me the option of what to do with it. So I have a option here, a straight line or a curved line. If it's a straight line, I only have two connecting nodes. I only have one at each end of this line. So I can change the line, I can move it around, but I can't bend it in the middle unless I select curve. If I select curve, now it gives me a couple of nodes in the middle, and I can bend this line around. And once I'm done, I can just like click somewhere on the outside, and I have this, and you know it'll be the same with any kind of shapes. Are they vectors? No, unless you make a vector layer. Oh, there, it snapped into that. Now I can edit it. Continuous curve or a circle. Look at this. Make it a perfect circle. That's something else. So Clip Studio, get rid of this. Oh my goodness, hold on one second. If I make a new layer, yeah, they just added that recently, Paul. That's like, and it's in the whole thing. So if you have, if you've updated Clip Studio, if you haven't yet, update it to the new version, and you'll see that in there. One thing they've always had, though, is a vector layer. So how it works is instead of selecting specifically vector tools, if, let's say, let me turn this one off for a moment, and I go down here, right, to where I can add a new layer in, you can select a vector layer, which I think is the one, yeah, it looks like a little cube on it. It's like a regular layer, and then this one that looks like a little cube. If I add that, I now have... it turns my lines into vector lines, right? How it does that, I don't know, but that's how. Just close this for a minute, my iPad. So now I have vector lines, right? So, and you can see there's a red line through that. So if I select, where is it? That just makes me move that. Oh, here, down here, this little guy. Now I get all these options that I can do with the line. You can see too, like if I zoom in, that's a vector line. It's still a little pixelated on the edge, but not like working on a pixel layer. So I'm going to pull back out. And you've got all these options you can do. I can click on control point, and now all these tiny nodes show up all over the place. I can do anything with that, right? Grab any one of those with this tool, and I can stretch it out, bend this line to do whatever I need it to do. Simplify the vector line so I can go over this, clean it up. Correct the line width. So there you have the options here to thicken. If I go over this, I think it's because I have it. Oh, narrow. I have it on narrow. It should, if I keep doing that, it'll keep changing the size of that line. I don't know if you can see that, but it's slowly changing the size of that line, right? And as soon as I go backwards, you can see it going back. If I click on select thicken, it'll do the opposite. Oh, you can see it doing it now. Right. Again, this is all in the vector layer, and the nice thing about it is your eraser options. So if I have another line coming, whoops, geez. I have another line coming and intersecting it. Right. I have options on how I can get rid of those. Is it regular? So there's my vector eraser. Wish I had that on multiple layers. Doesn't have that on dynamic eraser. Don't know why. But I know if I go to hard eraser, it has the different ways in which you can kind of erase the line. So I can clean that completely off. I'll select this. I think that goes up to, it cleans it partially to whatever you're erasing, and then this one I think is supposed to remove it up to that line like this, right? Up until you get to the crossing line, like that. So you get all these different options for erasing, which is really nice. I should be using vector layers more often. I had a couple of people tell me in the past, like saying, why are you not using vector layers when you're inking your work? I'm just not used to using vector. And I really should. For one thing, I can zoom things in, uh, and change the size of whatever I'm doing. Like I can, depending on what's going to be used for, if I want to take it to print or whatnot, I won't have to worry about the size changing. Um, the other thing too is you just have more control over your line when you're trying to ink something. When you go to erase a line, you have so much more control over that. So yeah, I'm going to try and start using vector more often because you got so many options with it. I'll leave it on there. I'll see what I can do with this character with this. No, you don't have the other options where you click and hold. I don't. Oh no, you do. Look at that. Edit. Oh my God, you do too. I'll be damned. I thought you'd lose those options in a vector layer, but nope, you've got them. You've got them in the vector layer. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? All right, let's see if I can draw this character here. Because Paul, you have the version for iPad, and you have the nice one. You have XE. I have standard or Pro, I guess as they call it, which is just it's the cheaper version. But you've got the one that's actually better for doing comics, but it is much more expensive. And I think you're also on the monthly plan, if I'm not mistaken, because you're using it on the iPad, and the iPad you can only use with the monthly pass. I was really tempted to get it at one time. I just thought, no, I kind of don't need it, and it is expensive. And I use Clip Studio a lot, but I just don't do it that much. I know with the XE version, the nice thing is you can number pages better. So it's laid out in such a way that you can image. Oh, I see. Whoops. I see what it does. You can't draw tonight. There's a group on Facebook that's for like fans of Hanna-Barbera, and there's somebody on there who there's a couple of people on there who post some of the original drawings from the original show, like some of the storyboard panels, layouts, information pages with notes on it. Just kind of blew me away. Some of this stuff. I love looking at old things like that with all the little notes written in the sides, and I love looking at things like that. I was going to try to imagine, what were they thinking where was this, where were these notes taken? Was it at their desk? What was the setting like when they did that? which is sort of an odd thought, I know, but I've often kind of wondered what the studio life was like at the time. I might not finish this tonight. Oh, it doesn't have to be a perfect circle. I keep looking up and it's like it was like went from like 5 to 3 to 2. Now I'm down to 0. That's okay though. I this is just more for me to get the camera going tonight. Like that. It's nice, but I feel like I'm still going to make this line not very smooth. These little points are so subtle, and yet they will make like an obvious bend in it once I try to clean it up. But it's nice to know to be able to do that, though. I'm going to kind of clean that up. I'll have to find. I wish there was a way I could make this a little more entertaining, to be able to play some music. I know I can't. I'll have to find something that is not. That doesn't have any copyright to it, but. I feel like Vector kind of over cleans the line a little bit. Oh, there's a vector eraser. What the hell? I missed that. So it's officially, well, it's coming up Friday. Anybody have any big plans for the weekend? Anybody going away? I'm going to raise up that waist point a bit, though. No big planned weekends. Well, what I think I'll do is I'll finish up probably pretty soon because I've kind of lost everybody, I think. But I'll just kind of finish up this little bit here. I am going to start planning these a little bit better. I know I've been saying that since time began, but that is the plan, is to start having a little more of a plan when I come into this. The fingers look a bit funny. They tend to, yeah, that actually does look a bit weird. That's not quite right. If you've ever watched the Flintstones, their hands are just hanging loose. Their fingers are kind of like all over the place. That's why I'm kind of trying to do that. Have a look next time if their hands are just down at the side and they're kind of turned backwards, and their fingers are, and it's supposed to add variety so it doesn't look so stiff. When they do their feet, they're just like these little tiny knobs on the end of their feet, but their fingers are always kind of like when it's hanging loose and there's like one out and one finger in and the other one's, it's like really bizarre. But if you ever watch the Flintstones again, have a look at their free hands. They're usually sometimes all over the place. I'm just gonna leave that like that for now. I know it needs to be fixed, but I just need to kind of leave that for the moment. She has kind of a long hand. I would probably fix that. Um, yeah, I have lost my audience. Anyways, at least I'm kind of doing something here. Um, you know what I can't get past on this? The lines are definitely feel a little bit artificial, which I think they are obviously. But they there's this, it makes like this weird thickness. It doesn't quite feel right. So I'm probably until I can figure out how to use it. This is why I don't use the vector that much. I think because I feel like I'm losing a bit of that control with the lines. Hello, Stig. I probably won't stay on for much longer. This is, I know, not the most exciting stream. Again, this was just to get my get myself going again. she's like way off, but I'm not used to working in this kind of weird position. Not good at humans. Yeah, it took me a while too. Um, I started. One of the things that kind of helped me loosen up with that, is to learn just in general how to draw. If you can get her feet are in the wrong place. If you can, how should I put this? Um, I had to get out of the mindset of like I can draw trees, I can draw dinosaurs, but I can't draw this, can't draw that. And I stopped kind of thinking in those terms, and I went, "There's just drawing. I got to think of it in that terms. You're just drawing." Oh, that really cut that off. Yeah, that's not what I wanted. But once I kind of got into that mindset, it really, I'm sorry, it kind of made me start exploring other aspects of it really, really fast. And um, and I just started kind of practicing drawing people, and I found after a while it did eventually start to come to me. Now you're not doing that thing you were doing earlier. You But then a lot of times it's also, depending on why you're drawing too. I mean, if you want to draw people and you want to learn how to do that, there's definitely um, ways out there to um, how should I put it? Like especially on YouTube, there's a lot of really great tutorials on how to draw people, etc. Um, a lot of times that people do it just as a hobby because they like it. It doesn't really matter if you really like drawing airplanes, whether you like drawing cars, whatever it is you like drawing, monsters or dinosaurs, and that's the thing that brings you joy. Um, sure, do what you like doing. If you want to challenge yourself and you want to say, you know what, it bothers me, it bugs me that I can't draw people, but I really want to learn. It is completely learnable. It just takes a bit of time and practice, like everything else in the world. But you can learn it, and especially too if you want to get in any kind of art industry. So if you are depending on what you want to do. But if you want to say get into animation, you really actually do need to learn how to draw people. If you want to do animation, you have to learn that. But it's not hard. As I said, it's something that can come. You can pick it up. It just practicing is a funny thing because there's good practicing and bad practicing. So it's just learning from the right people and be willing to make a lot of mistakes at the beginning and have your stuff not look that great. It's fine. I was trash for ages. God. I was terrible. I love drawing, and a lot of people complimented me because I guess I was maybe a little better than the average, more than I thought I was, so which maybe encouraged me to want to keep pursuing it. But I had to, when you go to art school, you have to accept a lot of hard truths. Teachers will be hard on you, even when you're really good. Be prepared for them to just like, yeah, I don't care how good you are. they can be kind of brutal, art teachers. But if you can kind of deal with that, they'll help push you in the right direction. That's why I always say people need like a good mentor. If you can't go to school of any kind, share your work with other people online, and get into some kind of habit of getting feedback, honest feedback for your work. Oh, that's nice. You draw them as gifts. I did that as well for many years. I did that too. It's nice when you can, people like your work and then you do something for them. That's usually very, very meaningful to a lot of people. I used to I wasn't great at it, but I like to do calligraphy with letters, and so when I got cards, if I had time, I would try and draw a card, but really do all this like really nice kind of trying to fill in the blank spots here. Oh, did I do this on the wrong? Oh, it is on the right layer. Damn it, I'm not paying attention. Sorry. Yeah, I used to try and do all these like really nice lettering, like the Old English, that was very swirly and very constructed like. And then I would try script, which was really nice, very nice flowing letters, and I would do a lot of cards like that. I'd try and do a little drawing in them, or if I couldn't, I'd buy one and then do that drawing, or put a drawing in it. Even today, our boss's birthday, they had a card they wanted us to sign, and I had to do a little drawing inside it because I just can't help myself in doing that. Oops, jeez, I keep doing that. Hey Jim, how are you? Thanks, Stig, for popping in. Nice to see you. Please, I'm going to be doing these regularly, so please come back again. Please come back. I'm not sure who else is left in chat, Jim, but it's nice to see you here. I don't know, I'm just kind of getting used to kind of getting in the groove of drawing again here and going live, so I probably won't be too much longer, but how have you been holding out? So I'm not going to do the, oh, I wanted to do the mid thing. Why are you... I kind of wanted that a lighter color. Yeah, same with me, Jim. Every time somebody goes live, I always miss them all the bloody time. Josh was on the other night, Joshua Kemble, and I know some people were there for that, and I poked in for a minute. I didn't say anything, but I'd watch for a minute or two, and then sure enough, somebody called, something happened, and it's Speak of the Devil. It's Artcasters on. Well, no wonder nobody's here. They're all watching Artcasters. Oh, damn you, Artcasters. I was going to make Thursdays kind of a regular thing since I'm going to be off for a little while due to some physical problems, but so I'm guessing that's where everybody is. Why Paul hasn't replied. Let's have a look. See who's over there. See if everybody's left me to go over for Josh's page. Oh, there he is. Mr. Paul Pate is over on Josh's. Oh, well, I guess I'm just not that interesting yet. What can I do? C'est la vie. So is Dylan. I wonder if Corey Kerr's over there too. All right, I can't compete with that. What am I doing? I gotta make more interesting streams, I guess. If I'm gonna go inside on Thursday nights. I was hoping to make Tuesdays and Thursdays kind of a regular stream thing. And then try and do one video a week as well I want to post. So that's kind of the goal. Anyways, I guess that's it. That's going to be the Flintstone secretary that I'm hoping to... I got to do some fixing up with that. She's a little wonky looking, I know. But that was just a quick one-off I wanted to do just to kind of get in some practice on this. Anyways, I guess I'm going to close out with one of these little... No, actually, I'm not even going to bother with that. I gotta figure this out again. I'm not using Talk Studio anymore. I'm now using just regular Streamlabs. I gotta get used to using regular Streamlabs again. So, all right. Well, I guess that'll be it for tonight. I guess I chatted for about an hour. I guess that's pretty good, right? So, anyways, thanks you all for those who did come in and then left. I don't know. I suppose I'll probably be back on Tuesday. I hope. I would have done one on Saturday, but I've got some friends coming up on Saturday. I'm going to be in downtown Toronto doing some photography. Maybe I'll try and stream from a little bit in downtown. Going from downtown Toronto, I can maybe try and see if I can do some streaming from down there. As long as there's no music playing out loud, I might try and stream for a little bit down there. So, yeah, that's true. It definitely is. I've been having a tough time a lot lately. So, but yeah, I really do actually want to get back into this. I have to. Oh, and I need to put together an ad because I do have a merch store, and I have merch stuff on shirts and mugs, things like that. So I'm gonna start making a little ad for that. All right, Jim. Good to see you. Tell everybody I said hi in Artcasters. Tell them thanks a lot. And I'll see you all in the future.